BizB, the insight you need. I'm Junfeng. New sanctions by the US Treasury have blocked Russia's access to their reserves held in American banks, significantly increasing the chances of a historic Russian debt default. Actually, Russia says it has enough money to pay its debts, but it just simply cannot. Anton Siluanov, Russia's finance minister, said about $300 billion of the country's $640 billion in gold and foreign reserves had been frozen by sanctions. So the remaining $340 billion in reserves should be good enough to cover a total of $40 billion in international bonds outstanding. But Western sanctions have also placed severe restrictions on Russian banks and their financial transactions. Russia says it would take legal action if the West tries to force it into a man-made default. Now, 3 leading rating agencies have downgraded Russia's credit rating to below investment grade, or junk. Fitch says its C rating means that a default or default-like process has begun. Many Russian bonds have seen their prices fall to only 20% of their face value. Apparently, Russia is being excluded from global capital market in the foreseeable future. The sanctions are, of course, self-inflicted. Data from the Bank of International Settlements shows that Russian entities owe international banks $121 billion. US banks are owed nearly $15 billion, while European banks have higher exposure at $84 billion. JP Chase CEO admit his banks would lose $1 billion on exposure to Russia. Citigroup said the bank could lose nearly half of its $10 billion exposure. Deutsche Bank has $1.5 billion of exposure, while Credit Suisse says tens of billions of dollars managed for Russian clients may be at risk. However, the financial consequences of a Russian default may fall more on emerging markets and developing countries, according to World Bank chief economist Carmen Reinhardt. She wrote that those countries will find it harder to pay debts and find it more costly to attract new financing to deal with their existing debt. This is because investors will be more risk-averse during such turbulent times, coupled with rising interest rates. And somehow, Wall Street has found an opportunity to make big money off Russia's debt. According to CNN, a new type of arbitrage known as a negative basis trade has emerged among US banks. It's basically a way to exploit a loophole to make easy money. CNN reports that many American hedge funds have bought billions of dollars of Russian bonds, and the likes of JP Chase and Goldman Sachs are facilitating these trades. So Western sanctions create chaos in the global financial markets, while Wall Street hedge funds get richer and poor countries get poorer in deeper debt problems.